red leather, not red leather. Wow, way to start. Red leather, yellow leather. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Okay, we're good. We're good. We can start, baby. Let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Worrell, momentum swing trading strategist extraordinaire. We'll be doing a little bit of everything today, but something I am very proud to announce. My G, I know you're in the building. What's going on, brother? Thank you so much for displaying a huge amount of effort when it comes to trying to categorize the ETFs and the subsectors. You finally did it. You've been hard at work for us for quite some time now, my G, and you finally have put together something amazing. We're actually going to be going over it today. I hope you guys are all ready. We have an awesome show, as always, so I hope you guys are staying tuned. Huge shout out to Norman Conklin, The Morning Coffee, B. Stewie, Carl Burr. Thank you guys so much for being members of the show, and everyone out there that constantly is showing up, kicking ass and taking names. Beef Stewie, I love those icons that are in there. All right, I think we are ready to start the show. Are we ready to start the show? Let's get it, baby. Red leather, yellow leather, rubber baby buggy bumpers. Okay, we got it down pat. We're ready to go. What's up, Yosef in the building? My G, Beef Stewie, the Norman of the Conklins. Your boy Jimmy Bright is in the building, and I'm sure the rest will follow. Thank you guys so much for joining me once again for another weekly update on the S&P 500 review. Of course, we're gonna go over interest rates really quick. There was a small change, nothing too crazy, but we're gonna go over that. And of course, we have the stock watch list. I have my focus list. I've added 4 stocks to the focus list. So we have about 15 to 20 stocks that I'm really honing in on. I have my thoughts, my opinions, and then the overall market, okay? So let's just jump right into this. Let's see what old Papa Powell's got for us to say. Huh? Interest rates with Jerome Powell.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you guys know I don't like to spend too much time on this, as we do not need to spend too much time on this. It's really simple. We were at 95% at a quarter of a rate cut probability for September 17th. Now, that has changed to 84.6%, probably because of the most recent data that has came to pass. And now that it is in front of us, you can see that we still have a likelihood of a quarter of a rate cut. That is a good sign. One of the things that a lot of people, they look at this and they start to learn and understand. But what you need to understand is this. Yes, we have rate cuts, but usually what happens after the first rate cut is we have a push higher. But the scenarios here is, are we boosting a healthy economy? Have we made a soft landing? Are things looking good? Are we getting a rate cut to help boost a healthy economy? Or are we getting a rate cut because the market looks like it's in trouble and it needs help and the economy's not doing well? Well, if we look at all of the data, and I will do my best not to bore you with it, things are looking A-okay. They are looking A-okay. Nothing's too one-sided to the other. So we are still on a nice secular run, and this cut is only going to help boost the economy, in my humble opinion. Now, does it matter? Does the market care? No. That's why we just take this and we ingest it for what it is, but we look at the charts first and foremost. So when we look at the charts, we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ. It is open, folks, and it is green. We had a small little push up. We are still above a rising 10 and 21-day moving average. As you can see, after Liberation Day, this beautiful Liberation Day, and we popped up and started to run higher, much, much higher. We continue to make new higher lows as we formed just a beautiful push here, entering a power trend, continuing higher and making lots of money on this run up here. Now, as we sit up top here, I cannot help but my my feelings, my emotions, my whatever you want to say, we have been pushing above this 21-day moving average and been closing above it other than one day only. We've moved up 27% here without any meaningful pullback. Now, when we look back here, we follow the NASDAQ, you can see we get meaningful pullbacks. Now, we have only had this one meaningful pullback. Aside from that, we haven't seen anything like this. We haven't seen anything like this, on this run up. Same thing with this. We've had one pullback. We haven't seen much of anything. So where's this? Where's the pullback to break the 50, to retest, some of these enormous gains that we've had? So, when I start looking at something like this, and it's going straight up to the north side, I'm expecting some kind of pullback. Now, the market does not give a shit what I'm going to draw here. It does not matter. But if we came back down to retest this, I would still say we are in a comfortable spot. We would still be above a 200-day moving average. Of course, I kind of hoaxed it to get under there, but you see what I'm saying here, folks. We need to understand probable situations here. And, with everybody being so bullish, at least that's the sentiment that I'm seeing, that everybody's so bullish, that we could easily get a shakeout here. With that being said, we have to see the chart for what it is, and that is a secular bull run here. We are still above a rising 10, 21, and 50-day moving averages. The 200-day moving average is continuing to rise higher. So what does that tell me? Trade the chart. We are still in a bull market. I am still risk on as of this day right here, and as of this day right here, somewhere right here. We'd have to count the days. So, I was risk off for one day out of all of this move, and my rules have kept me safe in this market. I've been making money as we should. When the market starts to turn, I'm out, I'm hands off, and I'm waiting for setups. So where are the setups? We're going to get into that in just a minute. Let's take a look at Bitcoin though. Folks, Bitcoin looks absolutely beautiful here as we had a fake out, an undercut, a rally, another fake out, and another new higher low being formed right at previous all-time highs anchored VWAP. So that's an actually beautiful thing to see. It's hard to hold on to something like this. That's why you need wider stops. And I know everybody has their favorite stock out there that they like to play when it comes to Bitcoin. Recently, I have honestly just liked using the Bitcoin ETF IBIT. And the whole reason why I like to use that, it is a little slower, and you guys know I preach faster movers, but if I want to get a hold of this thing, and now that I know that it's being, well, and it always has been, but there's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of action. It's kind of a buy and hold asset for me in this situation. I'm not too keen on any of these miners right now, although some of them are really setting up, like WULF, I know in the chat was going wild, CORZ, there's a lot of, data processors, data miners that are ripping. Very hard to hold on to, but if you can find proper risk management, that's the way to go. Now you can see this 50-day moving average on Bitcoin on the daily time frame has held true. That's why I even showed you best case scenario for me last week was for it to do something, or 2 weeks ago, was to do something like this, to get tighter before taking off. Market didn't give a shit what I thought. It headed higher, it pulled back, it started to follow our best case scenario, right? It peers on through, and what I wanted to see was this to get tighter before taking off. It didn't do that. Best case scenario was out the window. This thing took off without me, and I stood there thinking, wow, I'm gonna miss this run. Wrong. It pulled right back down, held a new higher low here, and is starting to look more like my best case scenario. So if it can continue to get tight, now looking more as a base breakout here rather than here, but this is where my alerts are going to go off. This is where I'm going to start watching it and watch for more volatility in the stocks that we want to choose to do that. Make sure you guys are voting on the poll. When you guys join and you look in the comments section, I know you damn seen it. Do you feel like the market is overbought? Does it need to come down? That's how I feel, but trading the chart, it clearly can go higher. Has it been oversold? Does it have to move higher? Or is it steady as she goes? Because as we see, the overall market has been pretty steady as she goes, following this 21-day moving average, right? Or are you all in? Do you think this market is getting ready to rip tater chip to the north side? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, baby. Well, overall consensus in the market shows here with the AAII Investor Sentiment Survey. What direction do these members feel like the stock market will be in the next 6 months? Well, you can see here, there's still a lot of bullish activity here, right? The historical average is usually a little bit more on the bullish side. Right now, we are on the bearish side in the ending of last week. So very interesting to see that there, being at these highs, the overall sentiment there. Carl Burr, what's going on, brother? Yeah, actually, let's go over those overall major leaders in the overall market in just a second. But first, I really have to give my boy G, your friend. He is now a part of our trading family inside the Discord. Shout out to you, G. Humble, thank you. You really are putting in the work out there, and now I get to take advantage of it, and I'm gonna just show the world. He used AI. He tried to compile his own list. He did all of his own research, and then he started using ChatGPT to really refine his stock list here, and now he has this amazing ETF that he has displayed for us in our Discord, and I highly suggest everybody save this. I put this as the theme ETFs, and this right here, this has a ton of ETFs in this group. What I did to make this easier, even though I went through all of these, I started to find and pick apart, but then when I just did change by percentage for the day, you will get to see what the biggest activity in those subsectors are each day. And if you come and review this each day, you'll see what subsectors are really starting to get some attention. And as you guys have known, we've been pointing out that the solar ETF is starting to get some attention, right? And one of those in here is TAN. So if we just click on TAN, or if I just bring it up on here to show you, you'll see our TAN ETF is doing amazing. It's above the 200-day moving average. It's created these new higher lows now. And what can we see about the RS rating? It's at 69, so it's still pretty low, but it's definitely one that is saying, hey, this thing has been badly beaten down. People are still using solar. And if you look at TAN and you dive a little deeper into this, you'll find out right away. We can just go ahead and click on TAN like this. And then you'll go over here and you'll click on holdings. And the first one on the holdings here you'll see is First Solar. So we go to First Solar and we can check this out on the chart. Guys, and look at First Solar. You can clearly see that this is an average daily range of over 4%. You can see their earnings and their sales down here. They're doing very well with their EPS. Minus these last 2 quarters, but it seems like their estimate for next month is looking very well as their sales here are slowly decreasing. So as I sit here and talk about this, like, oh yeah, like look at this stock, there are still some pitfalls, right? They're decreasing sales. They need to see increased sales. EPS growth is gradually declining. We need to see that starting to pick back up. Are we going to see First Solar start to turn around here? Is the worst of First Solar to come? Well, I can say this, it's in my area, putting my Peter Lynch hat on. I see a lot of solar panels going up. I don't see this thing failing, but I do see it starting to create a nice area for risk management. So I'm just going to continue to keep an eye on it. I'm not saying I'm trading it. I'm not saying I'm going to buy this thing tomorrow, but I do like it. And I did ask you guys in the chat, so make sure you guys tell me what your clean energy and your solar stocks are. I want to know. I want to create a very good clean and solar energy list because, like I said to you on the last one, when we start to see sectional rotation, I want to be there first. I want to be there first, not when we look back on Hood and say, okay, this is looking really good here, but I wasn't introduced to fintech. I didn't understand fintech nearly as much as I should have. And then, it breaks out here. We get the gap up, and I'm learning everything I can about fintech, knowing that I missed my key entry on Hood. I actually remember talking to Carl Burr during a little mentorship. I shouldn't even call it a mentorship. The man knows his shit. Our little get together that we had. I told him, I said, you know, right here, Carl, I'm so expecting out of hood. We missed it. There was a big gap up. I couldn't buy it extended like this. It forms a base here, and now we're in on the run, right? I want to be first next time. I want to be first. I mean, I know we made a ton of money on this, and we're back in it to win it, and hopefully we make a ton more, but I want to be in first. Now, I'm not saying FSLR is going to be, oh, I'm going to be in first. No, I want to know what's out there. I want to know everything that's out there, and I'm a little bit behind on my solar and clean energy stock list. So I want to know the faster movers, what's leading it right now, and so that way, if solar starts to turn around, we can be first. We can be right there with the hedgies, buying up at the bottom and selling to the dumbasses that are capitulating at the top, okay? So let's be the smart money and let's not be the dumb money. So help me out, guys. Find those clean energy stocks, find the solar energy stocks, and let's be first. Let's compile, because we have time. We have time, folks. We can sit back, relax, and watch what's going on in the overall market and be ready, okay? So let's just keep on keeping on. I know we have a lot to go over. We'll just show you the earnings really quick. And just to go back to that ETF, guys, when it comes to these ETFs, it's really, really good to go over them, know them, and understand them. But now that we're getting deeper and deeper into this, that's why we're looking into those subsectors. And that's why I have to shout out my G, because I've asked multiple times for people to help me with this, because I keep compiling these lists, but they keep getting mixed around, right? Well, now we have, it's just like, it's compacted. This is just such a good grouping for, you know, all the holdings and everything that's going on. So make sure you keep your eye on those, and just another big shout out to my G, okay? And guys, we're gonna be going over a lot of the major indices, but just keep an eye on this right here. We still have earnings coming up. So if you're holding any of these, keep an eye. You know, I know Home Depot's a big one here. Let's take a look. Toll Brothers, Target's a big one. TJX, let's see here. I'm not seeing any banks. It looks like the banks. We got Walmart coming up on Thursday. So just keep in mind, if you think earnings season is over, it is not over just yet. We have a couple more weeks of pretty big earners here. So keep an eye on that. All right, so yeah, let's go through the big ones, guys. I want to make sure we get through all the Mag 7. I'm going to keep calling them Mag 7, but all the major leaders. And as Carl brought up, NVIDIA is a big one. And if you guys, any ticker you want to take a look at, throw it up. We're not going to be straight and narrow today. We're going to veer off in every single direction. All right. So we have NVIDIA. NVIDIA still above a rising 10-day moving average. Let's take a look at how it's doing in the pre-market right now. Gapping up, looking really good in this pre-market. Let's take a little peeky gander here, folks. Oh yeah, I like that. I know you guys like that too. Nice little gap up here. This is your 5-minute time frame. Nice little gap up in the open this morning. So you can see it looked like we were failing here. Then we opened up, and we're up about 0.5% already for NVIDIA. So that is a really, really good sign there. Let's take a look at Google. Google's also up in the pre-market as well. I told you guys, Google's a magnet for all-time highs. I don't know what the hell's going to happen up here at all-time highs. What I do know is we've been seeing a lot of these rounded bottoms that aren't making handles. Will this make a handle? I don't know. If it does, I might add, but you guys know how I am with adding. I suck at it, so I probably won't pull the trigger, but I am keeping an eye on this for a cup without handle as it just breaks off higher and just skeetily doos to the north side. I'm a huge bull on Google. I really think Google is hasn't been introduced to this race nearly as well, and I really like what they're doing in the AI space. I've been watching a lot of different things with AI, and you know, I love it. I love watching the future unfold. I want to be the old guy that invites it in, let it do everything. I love it. So hopefully Google's a big player in that. We have EPS and sales growth still. It's still Google, guys. It is a much slower mover, as my G told you on the end of the last stream. You know, it is slower. It is slower. I'm kind of offsetting my volatility with Hood, and because I did have a nice chunk of cash, but nothing I was really willing to put it into, I'd much rather it be into something bigger, slower, that I trust, that I can understand. So that was my reasoning behind that. Not that it really, I'm not really practicing what I preach, right? Next is Meta. Meta looks absolutely amazing. Beautiful flag pattern up top here. Now basing breaking out. Zuckerberg's just taken over, man. He's taken over. He's bought up all the small companies. He's part of this AI race, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Apple, we got to take a look at Apple. Apple's still a huge part of this market. Look at Apple here. Big chunk of this whole S&P 500. Big chunk. So, of course, we're rooting for Apple, but what is Apple going to do? Well, it breaks all of the anchored VWAPs that I have set. Let's take a look at all-time high anchored VWAP right here for Apple, and you can see it formed a base just under it. I know you anchored VWAP boys out there, beef stew, torqued up. You guys are drooling over this one, and you probably already looked at it. But you can see the EPS and sales growth is starting to come around for Apple. It formed a base here. It broke above that base, and now look. We have new higher lows. We have these new higher lows being formed. So yes, Apple can be on the watch list. Apple can be a part of this move now, and I hope it can be because it is a big part of the market. Tesla, now I know you guys have been watching Tesla as you should. We had this anchored VWAP from all-time high and all-time low. It created a pinch. It broke above that pinch. Congratulations to anyone who decided to take that there. You anchored VWAP. SLU, you know what? Can I say sluts on YouTube? You anchored VWAP sluts out there playing this. I hope you guys are still in it. It's looking great. It actually, I had this trend break set. It broke its trend on volume. It looked really well. Not in it. I don't like to play Tesla. It's beating me up. It's beating me up enough where I learned, I learned to cover up my face. But I'm not going to be one of those guys who's not going to look at it. Tesla, this thing's a boat in the overall market as well. So let's see what Tesla can do here. Yeah, there it is. I was like, where the hell is it? It's a pretty big stock in this situation in the overall S&P 500. So if it can continue higher, it's only going to help drag the market up higher. Amazon still doing Amazon things as it chops around after earnings. We're going to see where its price discovery finally lays down. As Microsoft, look at this thing. Look at this thing. I mean, if you don't see it, you don't see it. I mean, we have a base here. I talked to you about this 10-day moving average. It could form a beautiful risk management right here. And you can see you would have been stopped out as it started to take off, but you wouldn't have lost much but a few shekels, right? Now, to me, because this thing can't break out and it creates new lower lows and it's not creating new lower highs, to me, this almost looks like a play to the downside. But when I say that, at the same time, I wouldn't take this trade, because at the same time, this amazing push right here could shake out and then rip tater chip. So there's two ideas right there, but I'm telling you, you got to be careful with this type of trading. So if you were already in this, congratulations, you're still in it to win it, using that 10-day moving average to stop. Maybe you've stopped out here, or you decided to set this as your new low. We're going to see what's going to happen. Something's got to happen here within the next few days. I mean, it's getting tighter and tighter. So that's Microsoft. And if you guys aren't watching Microsoft's another big boat. It's going to help determine the overall market's direction. Roblox, this is my first time seeing this. Looks like we had a huge sell-off here. Is this a perfect buying opportunity as Roblox first time in a very long time since before May. So it's been on a 4.5 month push, finally pulling back to that 50-day moving average. Is this the best time to buy for Roblox? I don't know, but let me know in the chat. Do you still think Roblox still got some juice? And while you're there, vote on the poll. I want to know, what do you guys think? Where's the market going to go? Oh, and thank you guys in the chat. Yes, smash that like button. You got to smash it. And that reminds me, my kid was sitting on the toilet and he wants me in there to hang out with him in the toilet. So shout out to you, Reese, if you're watching this when you get a little older. But I had to entertain him a little bit. So I started to do some Macho Man Randy Savage impersonations while he was on the toilet. And I got to say, I think I got it pretty down pat. Okay, oh yeah. Maybe we'll do some or maybe I should just skip it. Forget it. But I see you guys in the chat. Shooting out those solar and those clean energy stocks. That's what I like to see. Beef Stewie, oh yeah, with the run solar. Okay, we should take a look at these very, very soon. Let's go with Netflix though. We need to see how our original market leader was doing, as this thing is what led the secular bull run. Roblox, Netflix, and Duolingo were the original leaders right out of the gate, taking off and showing that it needed some attention. Now, finally finding this support area right here. It's found some support and it looks like it's popping up higher. Not a stock I want to play now because it's a little too expensive for me, but you could use, NFLU, a 2x leverage Netflix stock if this was something. To me, this hasn't set up yet, but I just want to keep an eye on it for the overall market to see how our leaders are doing. And then of course, Hood. As you guys know, I've been a huge fan of Hood. I'm not married to Hood. I'm willing to let Hood go as long as it's closing below its 21-day moving average. So now I'm using that 21, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. You can see where I bought it right here. Just to give you kind of my thoughts. Trend break, right? Bought right at the right time. It pushed up higher, huge gains, absolutely happy with this. Now, my rule with trend breaks are to sell half once it reached new all-time highs. I did not do that. I did not do that because I just felt like this only being a 6% win, I wanted to get that 20%. And with the EPS and sales growth, yada, 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 with my already huge gains off of Hood, I'm willing to allow this thing and to let it hold and let it ride, let it do its thing, because I'm just letting things happen right now. I've already made my year, and my main focus is just protecting that capital. I'm not in a huge push state of mind. I'm not trying to push things right now. I'm kind of easing off. I'm tapping on the brakes, and I'm just keeping a very close eye, because honestly, when there becomes another opportunity, I want to have cash. I do. And right now I'm fully invested in Hood and Google. I'm fully invested, being very transparent, but I'm also ready to pull the plug on either one of those the second they start to act up. If it closes below the 21 for Hood, or Google closes below the 10-day moving average or my buy-in area, then I will be out of it, okay? So that is all the main stocks that I like to keep focused on for the overall market. Now let's dive deep into some of the stocks on my key focus list. But of course, we want to add any of those stocks that you guys have put in there. Let's just go over some of those, as NXT was brought up. Let me bring it up on this chart here. And guys, just while I'm doing this, just remember, everything is absolutely free. I bring all this content for free. I'm not just doing it for me. I am doing it for you too. I mean, this really helps me out though. But if we can all get together, you can throw me up in the background, put me in your ear. I'm gonna do my absolute best to keep you in line with the market. I need to be in line, you need to be in line, so that way we can rebuttal and find the proper stocks to play the big movers, okay? So let's take a look at my focus list, but I wanna go over, just before we do, let's go over some of these stocks. So here is NXT. Now, we have been watching NXT for quite some time now. Why? EPS and sales growth and RS rating tells us this is a stock that we need to keep an eye on. Now, if we zoom out here, you will clearly see, boom, look at that basing area. As it retested this area, came back into it, and then failed. But look what it held, a new higher low. Bada bing, bada boom, you'll be making money soon. Set your alert on NXT for 61.65. Watch the price action in that area. It's very pinnacle to watch that in that area. It's not a buy area, right? It's not a buy, or technically it could be a buy area, but it is an area to watch, because I would like to see it get tight here, not just break out and go straight up. That's hard for me to manage my risk here. So what I much rather see in a best case scenario, to be quite honest, is for it to pull back and create new higher lows before breaking out of this area. So that way I can, instead of risking this low, I can risk this low when I buy here. Okay, so I'm trying to manage my risk on this, and NXT is making it really hard right now with this boner candle. All right, so let's just let our flapjacks cool a little bit, give this thing a couple of days, maybe some inside days here, and then NXT will be ready to rock. Thank you very much, B. Stewie, for posting NXT. Is that a solar? Is that a win in solar? Let's read about it. Engages in the provisions of integrated solar tracker and software solutions. That's what I'm talking about, baby. All right, so thank you for bringing NXT. Now, we have been watching it. I didn't read much about it or anything, so I'm glad that we're here. Also, the average daily range is 4.43, so that's definitely one, as long as it's above that 4% threshold. I like to keep a closer eye on it. So, B. Stewie, the beefiest of stews. Thank you very much. Run is another solar one. Now, I did come across Run. Very cool. 84 RS rating, so getting up there. Also, we have some EPS and sales growth here as it's starting to turn around. It's also in the semiconductors is what it's saying. So engages in design, development, installation, sale, ownership, and maintenance of residential solar energy systems. Okay, so very, very cool. Definitely gonna pop that one up on my, I need to put a solar. I'll just put it on energy for now. So we'll do Run, and I already have NXT on the energy. So that is shaping up. We already have two awesome stocks to keep an eye on. So thank you, B. Stewie, for that. B. Stewie, yeah, Anchored VWAT slut. You are, dude. That's what you are, dude. But you know I love you. I tell you what, if you guys haven't used Anchored VWAP, just play with it. You know, I don't use it to take trades personally. But I tell you, there is a lot. I have, and I have to say that I've made some good money off of using it, but I don't base my strategy off that anymore. I just use it as a key supplement, you know, to kind of see where everybody's at. Now, here is AMSC. I'm not 100% sure. Is this, so what's up, Keith? What up, Keith Stone? Keith's in the building. And Libby, what's going on, Libby? Cheers to you. Warm cup of coffee to you, girl. So Keith, yeah, so let's just read about AMSC. I know it's the semiconductor, but let's see. Provisions of megawatt scale power solutions includes electronic control generators, power converters. So they're in the electricities. So this is the renewable energy projects. Okay, so very, very cool. So AMSC isn't just a semiconductor, they're in the renewable energy projects. And guys, look how beautiful this is. I drew out the best case scenario last week as we had this huge gap up on earnings, and I said, well, look, if we do one of these numbers where we bounce around and we start to get tighter, that would be my best case scenario. Now, I don't like to see this new lower low here, but again, if it can get above it and create 3 new higher lows with a base, I would love to see AMSC rip tater chip to the north side. That would be a very, very nice stock to keep an eye on. Now, we have had this on our semiconductor list, but it is very nice to know that it is in that clean energy services. So thank you so much, Keith Stone, for bringing that to our attention. We're definitely going to keep that on the watch list. Carl Burr says the like has been smashed, and I hope you folks do the exact same. Yes, SEDG is another good one. So I've been keeping an eye on this one. We all need to keep an eye on SEDG. The RS rating on this one is 98%. This is in the producer, manufacturer, electrical produce. Let me read to you about it. This says it is in the solar edge technology, engages in the development of energy technology, which provides inverted solutions. The firm operates this through the following segment: solar and all other. The solar segment includes design, development, manufacturing, yada, yada, yada. You guys get it. SEDG. Some of the traders that I follow on Twitter or X, whichever you prefer, have been following this for quite some time. Brought me a little keen to it, brought me into kind of watching the solar sector, and then the subsector really started ramping up. So it's really cool to see SEDG starting to shape up. I'm definitely going to put this on, oops, wrong button here. Put this on my energy watch list. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we have. Oh yeah, ENPH. I believe this was another solar, oh, obviously it's a solar, you put it in your list. ENPH, I've played this before and I didn't realize what it was until when I found it. But this thing has a lot of catching up to do this 21-day moving average before I put this. But I do appreciate you bringing this up because it is in that clean energy area, but in the solar area. But this isn't something I can watch just because of the downsloping under a 200-day moving average. So no big deal. Let's see, HGRAF. Is that a ticker or is that HGRAF? Have a great effing weekend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could have meant anything. But no, he's actually bringing us a huge mover here. Now, usually I don't talk too much about these, but you guys need to understand what you're dealing with here. It is a small market cap of 569 million with only 258 million shares in its circulated float. This is a OCT penny stock. Rip your face off, blow your panties off, wake up broke, sticky, and confused, and not in a good way, with HGRAF. So if you're gonna play it, make sure you find proper risk management. This is not something I play. This is something I used to play back when my P&L curve was heading down. Very cool to look at, especially when you look, oh, if I would have bought here, right? You know, if I would have bought something all the way down here and would have held on to it, it would have been at 847%. You know, you multiply, you put $500 in there, you multiply that by 9, $4,500, multiply that by 500. I mean, holy crap, you know, you could be rich, right? Well, these things move in both directions and they are very hard to hold on to. But if you can play these and you can find the right risk management, then do it. But I don't recommend anybody trying to use this as an investment platform. But as it is, clean power, why is it ripping? Well, it is following its sector. And if you know the sector, watch out, baby, because this is the kind of moves that you can get a hold of if you're one of those penny stock turds. I'm only kidding, Jimmy. I don't think you're really. My G says Roblox. There's definitely operator there looking for volume. Yeah, at the 18x170. Let's see. 1 day. This is not retailers doing that. Yeah. Yeah. When you get a big sell-off like this, I mean, it's obvious, dude. I mean, you don't get these kinds of sell-off without hedges removing. You and I aren't going to move these. You know, this is 81.35 billion shares in its market cap. Like its market cap, it's worth, I'm sorry, it's worth $81.35 billion. Okay? You and I aren't going to move this. You and I aren't going to move this stock. Not you and I with everything that we have. You know, we could probably put in a market order and still get it within a few pennies. You know what I mean? With that being said, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at this run up. If you weren't a hedgy and then you had this EPS market gap up where, you know, you've already made an enormous amount of gains, even if you just took this, right? And you were up before earnings 63%, and then it went up another 30%, you're taking some profit here. The question is, are they buying back up down here at the 50-day moving average? That's the real question. So if we can see new higher lows, another base start to form in, let's say it climbs all the way back up here and starts to form a base in best case scenario, we go ahead and draw something out like this, it bounces, and it does something like this. I mean, I draw the same shit, and that's for a reason. We have a strategy, and it freaking works. Basing breakouts, basing and trend breakouts, new higher lows, EPS and sales growth, the market leaders, market direction, the CAN-SLIM criteria. I mean, we learn from the best, we preach the best. I ingest it, I regurgitate it. Eat it up, baby, it's delicious. So yeah, I like that Roblox. I like where that's going. Roblox, Doc Fell says, Roblox, all kinds of noise on stuff again. Not the first time. Yeah, for sure. What's up, Gary? Good to see you, brother. Scrap It Show. Still holding my TTD. Let's take a look at TTD. See how it's doing. It looks like it's pulling back a little bit more here. Hopefully, it can find a base somewhere down here. Goodness gracious, this thing's hurting. So if we zoom all the way out, here, and we're just gonna say worst case scenario, only because it's pulling back, right? Worst case scenario, it needs to come back to 40.13 because that is its last basing area. Now, generally, guys, of course, this isn't in my trading criteria because it's below a 200-day moving average and it's declining. So it has a lot of proving for us as momentum traders to want to take something like this, right? So this is more of your Warren Buffett style kind of buy, and I shouldn't even say that because I don't know his investing style nearly as well as I should. But if you believe in a company, you believe that it is too big to fail, you believe that this company just needs new management or just needs new something and it's going to turn around, dollar cost averaging in and waiting and seeing if this base can hold. But really, that's the line in the sand there. It needs to hold that $40 area. It really does, you know? So hopefully this creates a new higher low here and it can continue, but best of luck to you, Gary. RS rating of 1. It doesn't get much lower than that. Libby, what up? Also interested in your take on Plug. These charts still get me. You know, I can already tell you, Plug has been one of those where if we just zoom way out like this, we just zoom way, way, way out and we look at Plug, there's going to be a few reasons right off the get we wouldn't want to take Plug. First of all, we have a very clear, identifiable stock that every time it goes up, it pulls back and creates new lower lows and new lower highs, which is a very bad sign. Now, you could argue here and say, well, the RS rating is 96 and they have EPS and sales growth. You're absolutely right, they do. So we also have new higher lows and it's getting above a 200-day moving average. This thing could really take off. Why wouldn't I want to play this stock though? Well, let's say the stock does take off and you might make a few shekels, but we have resistance areas. We have resistance here at the $2.45, the $4. We have resistance at the $8. I mean, we have resistance everywhere. Just for shits and giggles, let's go ahead and put an anchored VWAP at all-time high and just see where we'd have to get up to. So we have to get all the way up to 1018 just to test its anchored VWAP from all-time high. Can it do it? Absolutely. But I'm not going to put my money on this. I'm going to put my money on leaders in the market, momentum leaders that say, hey, I need attention. Hey, investors and hedgies and the people that are out there that think that I am worth a damn are going to put more money into me. Let's go back to my focus list here, folks, is I want to show you some absolute ringers. As we already talked about the majority of these, of course, I'm still watching Oklo. I'm not necessarily trading it right now, but you can see, you know, we've played this. We played the trend breakout. We also played this area right here, but stopped out for break even. CLS, I know a lot of you guys have been playing this. It kind of broke down here, so not watching as much. PLTR finally broke its 10-day moving average. Will it hold the 21-day moving average? That's the real question there. You can see Jobby, man, this thing really started ripping up to the north side, and it's just chopping around here quite a bit. Not a stock that I really want to participate in. What I really liked about Jobby is that it held these new higher lows and formed a base and then broke out. I really think this thing still has potential, but it's really, really hurting me here. It's really hurting me here. I don't like to play these things. And, you know, I'm going to show you another one that looks similar, which is IREN. And I'll tell you why I like this one a little better, okay? So IREN, I like its quick succession. What I mean by that is it holds these new higher lows and forms this base here, and it gets me in, right? And I'm up like $1,000, like literally within like, I don't know, 30 minutes, right? And then within that same 30 minutes, it sells right back off to my buy area. So I have to protect my account now. I don't look at this like, oh, I have to make that money back. No, I think there's something wrong here. I exit half of my shares and I close the last half here. Only losing a very, very small amount, pretty much break even at this point. Now it undercuts everything. All of this crap that it's formed here, it undercuts all of this and then pulls right back up into its buying area. William O'Neill says if it undercuts and rallies back into your buy zone, that you should buy back immediately. I don't have the balls for that. I don't have the cojones. I don't have the heart. But I will say this basing breakout, I wanted to buy. I did not buy. I was very hesitant. I love to use earnings as an excuse. I know earnings is right around the corner, but as B. Stewie has pointed out to me, as I want to point out to a lot of you, as long as you come to the charts every single day and check for those earnings and know when they're coming out, you can easily make that 20% right here. This thing moves 6.9% in a day. I could easily see this thing within the next, 10 days moving up, 10 to 20%. With that being said, you can sell some of that into the strength, right? Or sell all of it before earnings. So there's still money to be made before earnings here. APP is also another one. This thing, I forbidden myself to trade this multiple times that I try and play this. You guys can see back here, and it stopped me out and then did one of these. I mean, there's been so many times that this stock has just beat me up. And now look at it. It finally breaks above this basing area and has came down and retests it. If you guys like those retest basing breakouts, this is a stock to buy right here, because it gives you perfect risk management. You can risk this day's low. You can buy an opening range breakout in the morning, right? And you can use this low if you want to, or use the low of the opening range breakout, depending on however you want to play it. It's your trade. But I'm just saying, that gives you good risk management here if you want to use this area as your stop point. All right? You could even use as low as the 21-day moving average, depending, right? 4.7% average daily range. Yeah, you could use that, okay? So I like APP. Now here are some new ones that I haven't had on the watch list, so pay attention, folks. And if you haven't already, make sure you vote on the poll. I'm gonna end it very, very soon, and I'm very curious what you think. Norman just asked about Bloomberg Energy. That is a very good stock to keep an eye on. Norman, let's just take a look at Bloomberg right now, and we'll come back to CBRE. As Bloomberg Energy has actually been rip, tater, chip. The only issue that I have with BE is the fact that it's not basing out. You could have used this as a base using in hindsight, but it would have been hard for me to buy here as it just ripped right through it. It didn't get tight right here before it did. You could consider this, but I like to see it, a little bit tighter right before that base. But it takes off, it's still ripping. Now we need to see another base form, a trend or a basing breakout. But yeah, Bloomberg is definitely one that you want to have on your watch list. And if you're bringing that up as like a clean energy stock, Norman, let's just take a look and read a little bit about Bloomberg. As I know I did see that in some of these stocks. So let's just read about it. So it engages in the manufacture and installation of solid oxide fuel cell-based power generation platforms. Its product, Bloom Energy Server, converts standard low-pressure natural gas or biogas into electricity through an electrochemical process without combustion. So it is clean energy. Once again, Norman Conklin coming through. Thank you very, very much for that. Let's see. Libby says, thanks, Dave. These are the balls. Always seem to be swinging at. Yeah, don't be swinging at those, girls. That's definitely not one to be swinging at. I mean, you can, but for me, if I'm going to take a swing, because, if I'm going to take a swing, I need to understand, for me, it's not part of my strategy. So for me, it's a gamble. And it's okay to take a gamble as long as you know what the hell it is, right? You don't want to gamble. Do you gamble your life savings? Do you gamble your your family's equity? No. You gamble $100, or in other cases, $1 or one share, and have fun with it. But don't go into these things thinking that you're going to get rich, because a lot of times the second it pulls back, you're out, and then it takes off higher without you. And if you keep playing that, and then you start averaging down, because every time they take off without you, then that's when they go to zero, and you completely blow up your account. So just be very, very careful with those. But yeah, Norman, Bloomberg Energy, definitely one to keep an eye on. Now, let's head back to CBRE, folks. CBRE trend breakout. I know, I believe Torque and B. Stewie are keeping a very close eye on this one. I love it. It's a bit more of an expensive stock, but it's definitely one that you want to keep an eye on, CBRE. Now, here's one that you guys probably weren't going to guess that I'd put this on my focus list, but look at Bull, B-U-L-L. I was thinking Weeble. I was going to spell Weeble. This is Webull, W-E-B-U-L-L, but this is B-U-L-L, the ticker symbol B-U-L-L. Look at this, okay? Let's forget about this up here. This really means nothing at this point, right? What we need to focus on is all of this area. Now, We have new higher lows. We're above all moving averages. All moving averages as of Friday have converged into 10, 21, 30, 50, and the 200-day moving average. Absolutely beautiful right here, folks. You need to keep an eye on bull. Now, we do have earnings coming out on the 28th, but as we have talked about, this thing can move 8.1% in a day. So I think within this next week, you can make your money's worth on this if you find proper risk management. Now, I think a breakthrough here on a 5-minute confirmation candle, right? A 5-minute confirmation candle, we are going to see bull rip to the north side. And you can see here in the after hours, or in the pre-market now, it's actually doing exactly that. It's broken through there. So we might actually see a gap up in the morning. So be very careful with this thing. You might want to wait for a retest of this breakout or play an opening range breakout on lower share size if it gets too high or too extended from this basing breakout area. This is my 4-hour time frame. This is what I love to watch. That 4-hour kind of calms me down a little bit. It shows me the wicks, but it also it doesn't give me too much information in such a small area. So this 4 hours is beautiful. It looks like it's breaking out here, folks. So we're going to revisit this next Sunday, and we'll see where we are at before earnings. Okay, so hopefully it makes for a good trader. Here is another one, folks, HSAI. And by the way, if you're watching this right now, now is the time. Oh, of course, I just deactivated my camera. I'm getting a little too wild over here. Now's the time though, folks. Now is the time. Send in the tickers. If you have a ticker you want me to take a look at, or maybe it's one that I have missed or one that needs to be on my focus list, do it. Put it in there. I'm going to make fun of you if it's garbage though. It's that simple. Let's move my big fat head over here. All right, so HSAI, I'm assuming it's AI related, right? So let's just read about HSAI. I know that B. Stewie's been watching this one for quite some time now. What I did not realize is the EPS and sales growth on this thing is absolutely amazing. It looks really, really good. Now, this is an auto parts OEM manufacturer. If I just read about it really quick, it manufactures sales of 3-dimensional light detection and raging LiDAR solutions. So not what I thought it was. So this is in the LiDAR. So LiDAR, the LiDAR group, so this is HSAI. They had earnings and look what it did. Rip tater chip, looking absolutely amazing with EPS and sales growth, absolutely killing it. RS rating, relative strength, meaning relative strength to the overall stock market. 99. It's absolutely kicking ass and taking names. So keep this on your watch list. I would like to see a retest. Obviously, I never buy my retests. I just love seeing them bounce off the retest area at 24, but you never know. This thing could just start ripping tomorrow morning. So let's see. I see you guys putting them in the chat. Thank you. We're definitely going to go over all that. Oh, Jolene's not here, but she always watches this at a later time. So big shout out to my sweet Jolene. This is Frog. I remember her and I were playing Frog, not Leapfrog, but the actual stop, Frog. And we played it right here, I believe, because, was it right here? I can't remember. Well, shoot, I can't remember now. Maybe it was back here. Was it this far back? No, it was in 2024. Either way, folks, this is what I'm looking at. It looks like it just broke its basing area. If we look at the 4-hour, not much volatility. It looks like shit, but just one I wanted to point out. I'm keeping an eye on Frog. Let me look a little deeper because that volatility, it should look a little cleaner on my 4-hour. Scroll down here, see the volatility. Now it's got EPS and sales growth. That's why I like it. I like EPS and sales growth. That's looking really good. The average volume per day is 1.25 million, so it meets our minimum threshold. I do like it. I do like it. So we're going to keep an eye on Frog. We'll keep a closer eye on Frog. Keep it on the focus list for a little while. COMM. Now, if you guys don't like this, then you don't like the trading I do. I'm going to go ahead and just mark this out for you. And I'm also going to go ahead and set an alert right here. If you don't know why, well, watch some of my past basing breakout and trend breakout views. This right here, huge push up on its catalyst. Now it's trading sideways, creating new higher lows and having a basing structure at this top. This is where dreams are made of. COMM is absolutely beautiful looking. Let's look at its financials. As COMM right here, you can see we are starting to get some EPS and sales growth. Well, at least it's expected to have some sales growth. So this thing is not the prettiest in its financials, but I think this surprise right here of 77% on its earnings and 10% surprise on its revenue has helped bolstering this thing a little higher. So let's keep a closer eye on COMM. I know we've been talking about this for a while, but here it is back again. I know Torque will like that one there. And we also have CVNA. Oh yeah, Jeff Rosenberger brought up QS. We'll definitely take a look at that. Yosef with MU. Definitely going to take a look at that. Let me just show you Carvana. I just want to show you a few more. Carvana, what does this remind you of? This reminds me exactly of Microsoft, right? MSoft. Like, look what the overall market's doing. Is that not the exact same thing? You know, look at Meta looks a little stronger than that, but actually Meta's the opposite of that, so Meta's probably the strongest. You know, I mean, it's just, they're all looking so similar, and Carvana's doing the same damn thing. Only God knows what the hell's gonna happen right here, but what I would like to say is this basing breakout right here is potential for higher mover. This went from bankrupt to billionaire. I was there. I read the bankrupt filing. It was somewhere in this area. They were talking about filing for bankruptcy and all this stuff, and you know, it was like, oh well, this is the dying company, and look at this thing. Holy shit, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I only got a few more, and we're gonna go over your stocks. VIOT, I'm just gonna show it to you. I'm gonna let you do your research on it, but this is what I like right here. Just looking at it as a technical standpoint, I really wanna see what happens tomorrow. I really do. I mean, it pushed up higher and it sold all the way off. If it can't sell off anymore, there's gonna be some volatility. PGY, Torque has been talking about PGY for quite some time now. This is what I like, basing breakout, and I also like the psychology behind it. As we get a big gap up, okay, it undercuts all of this, fakes out, new higher low, barely, new higher low, basing, and now we just need to get tighter within this range, and a break of that 34, so we'll just go ahead and put our alert on that. And PL, that was brought up today too. I have been trying to get into PL for quite some time. Haven't found the right time to do it, but it looks like we are coming to an area where we need to make a decision here. And PL looks like it's getting a little tighter. Look at new higher lows, 1, 2, and this area would be 3. It looks like it is getting ready to rip retainer chip. You can see here the volume selling off, or the volume slowly diminishing as we continue to rise here. So we're gonna see what happens. I really like these, you know, big roundy bottom forming a base. See if it wants to break out. You could even use this too. I just noticed this, you know, right here, trend breakout. You know, you play this trend breakout, use previous day as low as for your risk, and then take off half at that all-time high. That gives you your 2 to 1. Then you let your last half be a free roll trade and let it carry on higher. So we'll see what happens with that. And then of course we already talked about NXT. Yes, NXT looking very good. COUR, let's take a look. Oh yeah, so this popped up. COUR did pop up on the scanner. What did I like about it? Ooh, there's not much to not like about it. Look at this, above all of this junk down here. Looks like not much price action from here to here. So like from here to like 18, there's like not much price action there. We could even do one of these numbers to kind of like see where the majority's at, right? See, it's all below it. There's not a ton of liquidity. Look at that, right where I called it, $18. See that? That's your biggest area of liquidity is up here at $18. So like, you see all this volume down here is backing this area up, and now it's gapped up, and now this is the highest traded area of volume. Well, that's gonna continue to push and then override all this shit that's up here at the top. Well, of course, you're gonna find resistance up here at 18. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this looks healthy. This looks healthy. So a gap up overall, this junk now holding this area. This is definitely one I want to watch. Actually, thank you very much. What the hell is COUR anyway? Technology services, internet software. Let's read a little bit about this. Online learning platform, which engages in the provisions of online courses and degrees from the University of Companies. It offers art, chemistry, engineering, food, nutrition, health. It looks like it's career. It's career oriented, so that's very cool. Let me click on their. Oh, that's not their website. Yeah, I like it though. Let's bring it back up one more time. Yeah, so COUR. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put this on my focus list. This is probably top watch now. Who gave that to me? Of course you did. Oh, Beefy Stew. I'm telling you, dude. You train snakes, they learn how to bite you. He is absolutely kicking ass, dude. Absolutely kicking ass. Thank you, B. Stewie, for that. Joseph Sivkarbana, I like how it's holding the 50-day moving average on the weekly. It's riding the 10 moving average. I hopped a half position, will add on the breakout. That's fucking beautiful. Let's take a look at that. CVNA. Let's look at this weekly time frame. I do like looking more and more on the weekly time frame. So, oh yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is very cleanly following that 10 weekly. And if you look at the weekly, I would consider this a beautiful daily chart. You know what they say? I mean, if it's going to happen on a weekly, if a daily look's going to happen on a weekly, that's a big move, big expectancy move. So I hope it works out, and I'm glad you got a piece of that, my brother. Hell yeah, very good move. TRVI. Let's take a little peeky gander. Oh yeah, that one's stepping up very nice. The only reason why I didn't put this on is because it is therapeutics. We do need to keep an eye on these, but this TRVI, as you guys know, in the therapeutics, I mean, you're gonna get, wait a sec, EPS percentage change. Now we don't have any sales, so you can't really go off of that. They aren't selling anything. Their EPS is obviously rising, but you can't argue with this price action. I mean, I really can't argue too much about that. Can't talk too much shit, you know. I can't. You know, when you see it, if you just look at it for what it is, you know, it's very clear. We're on a trending up. It's forming bases. It's breaking those bases. It's retesting its support areas. And now look at this. This is another basing breakout area. It's very, very important for the stop. If this thing breaks this area, it can really get to moving. But just keep in mind, you know, any big news or anything like that comes out, this thing can just completely make this thing capitulate. 5.53%. I like it. Put it on your watch list. It's not one that I'm going to trade personally. I still think there's better stocks out there than to trade therapeutics and biotechs, but you know, people make millions off them every day, so I'm not going to tell you what to trade. I like it though. We'll keep it on our watch list. TRVI. Oh, my G says SYM. Take a look. Oh yeah, baby. Where did this thing come from? Oh, we've had to have looked at it before. I got it on here. But it doesn't look like I haven't seen this thing in a while, so this thing is just starting to rip now. All right, so the EPS and sales growth look really good here. I really like to see that. You can see this basing form. It's the whole reason why Guy brought it up right here. Let's see, producer, manufacturer. This is in the industrial. Industrial is always doing good. Automated technology company, which engages in robotics and automation-based product movement. Okay, so robotics, that's a really nice one to have on your watch list. Watch this basing area at $55. That would be a very interesting area. And I'm just curious, just because we like to play, I know you anchored VWAP sluts out there like to get those all-time highs in there, don't you? Don't you know? Okay. And there is your plot. And you can see, I mean, here's your anchored VWAP from all-time high. You know, you can see, you know, when it breaks through those areas, new higher lows, breakthrough. But yeah, it's above all these areas, and this looks like it definitely could get higher. So definitely put your alert on this bad baby right here. We'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with me. You know I love you. A huge shout out to Carl Burr, Norman Conklin, for being members. The Morning Coffee, thank you for being a member. B. Stewie, thank you so much for being not only a member, but a huge a part of this. and for always supporting me, dude. Honestly, huge shout out to you. And you guys are awesome, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for showing up, doing your homework, and kicking ass and taking names. I'll see you in the Discord. Nothing but love, baby. Peace. Hey, thank you guys so much for being here. You know, I absolutely love doing this show for you. And Libby, you're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Beef Stewie, I hope you have a good night, brother. I'll probably give you a call a little later. My G, thanks again, man. You're kicking ass, taking names, and I will be using this theme ETF probably every day from now on. Huge contribution, so huge shout out to you. I owe you one, brother, for sure. Let's see who else we got. Who else we got? Loke Doc was in the building. That's right. Let's go. Good to see you in here. Contemplating adding to my Ultra position. I didn't read that. I missed it. Oh, Joseph, we didn't go over MU. And Jeff, I didn't go over QS. Man, I'm a horrible person. Jeff, thanks for showing up. I appreciate you being here. Joseph, as always. Norman, Libby, Gary, and Charlotte, I hope you guys have a good night. If you made it to the end of the show, if you're honestly still listening to me into your living room right now, favorite. I am your favorite son-in-law. That's for damn sure. Thank you guys so much. Carl Burt, Keith Stone. Who else we got? Oh, and my boy Jimmy Bright. Have a good night, guys. Stay green, baby.